Hey everyone! That looks amazing.
Hello, everyone! Welcome back to Leah Daily English. I'm so happy you're here with us today. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the family. And if you're a returning listener, it's so good to have you back.
Hey everyone, James here. Great to see you all again. You know, I was just thinking this morning, every single day we use English, and we don't always stop to think about the little words that make such a big difference.
That's so true. And today's topic is a perfect example of that. We're talking about two words you probably already know, but I promise by the end of today's episode, you're going to use them so much better.
That's right. Today, we're diving into can and could. These are two of the most useful words in English, and people use them every single day. At work, at home, with friends, everywhere.
Yes. And you might be thinking, I already know can and could. But trust me, there are some really interesting uses that even intermediate learners sometimes miss. So stick with us.
Before we jump in, here's a question for you. Think about the last time you asked someone for something in English. What did you say? Did you say, "Can you help me?" Or "Could you help me?" Drop your answer in the comments. We'd love to know.
Oh, that's a great question. And don't worry, we're going to explain the difference very clearly today. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly when to use can and when to use could, and your English is going to sound so much more natural.
And if you're enjoying Leah Daily English, please make sure you like this episode and subscribe to Simple English Talks so you never miss a lesson. It really helps us keep making content for you.
Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. We've got so much good stuff to cover today.
Let's do it. First, we're going to start with the basics. What can really means and how to use it confidently. Let's go.
All right, let's start with can. Now, can is a modal verb. Don't worry, modal verb just means it's a helping verb. It goes before another verb to give it extra meaning. And can has a few really important jobs in English.
The most common job of can is to talk about ability, what you are able to do right now, in the present. So the structure is simple. Subject plus can plus base verb. For example, I can swim. She can speak French. They can drive.
Right. And here's the thing. Can tells us about real ability. Like, I can cook pasta. That's something I'm actually able to do. I do it every Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday? So you're the pasta expert.
I like to think so. But seriously, think about your own life. What can you do? Can you play an instrument? Can you cook? Can you speak more than 2 languages? That's what can is for.
Exactly. Now, let me give you a few more examples so you can really hear the pattern. My brother can fix cars. The baby can't walk yet, but she can stand. Our teacher can explain anything clearly. Can you hear how can talks about ability?
And notice something important. We said can't. That's the negative form. Can't is short for cannot. So if you're not able to do something, you say, I can't. For example, I can't sing. Trust me, I really can't.
I've heard her try. She really can't.
Hey, okay, moving on. So can is also used for permission. This is the second big use. You use can to ask if something is okay, if you're allowed to do it. Like, can I use your phone? Or can I sit here?
Yes. And this is very casual, very everyday English. When you're with friends or family, you say can for permission. Can I borrow your pen? Can we leave early today? Can I have another piece of cake? That last one is very important.
The most important question in English, really. So let's practice. Think about something you want to ask permission for right now. Maybe at work, at school, or at home. How would you ask using can? Write it in the comments. Something like, can I? And finish the sentence.
We love reading your comments, so please do share. Okay, there's one more use of can that people don't always think about, and that's possibility. Can also mean something is possible. For example, It can be really cold in winter here. Stress can cause headaches. Traffic can be bad on Fridays.
Oh, yes! That last one is so true. It's not saying the traffic is bad right now. It's saying it's possible. It happens sometimes. Can here talks about general possibility, or something that is true sometimes.
So, to quickly review, can has three main uses. Number one, ability, what you're able to do. Number two, permission, asking if something is okay. Number three, possibility, something that sometimes happens or is generally true. Keep those three in your head as we move forward.
Okay, now let's talk about could. And here's the first thing to understand. Could is actually the past tense of can. So when you want to talk about ability in the past, you use could. Same structure. Subject plus could plus base verb.
For example, when I was a child, I could run really fast. She could speak Spanish before she moved away. He couldn't swim until he was 10. You can hear the difference, right? We use could for things that were true in the past. Abilities you had then, maybe not now.
I love this one because it brings up memories. When I was young, I could stay up until midnight and still wake up early. Now, I can't do that at all.
Ha, same here. Time changes things. So could for past ability is really useful when you're telling stories, talking about your childhood, or describing things that used to be true.
Right. Think about something you could do when you were younger that you can't do now. Or maybe something you couldn't do before, but now you can. Write that in the comments. We always love hearing your stories.
Now, and this is really important, could has another huge use that is not about the past at all. We use could to make polite requests. This is where could and can are different in a very useful way.
Yes. So in everyday conversation, could sounds more polite than can. Both are correct, but the feeling is different. Can you help me is fine. Casual, friendly. Could you help me sounds a little more formal, a little more polite.
Here's a good way to think about it. First, use can with people you know well. Friends, family, close coworkers. Can you pass me that? Second, use could when you want to sound polite or respectful. With your boss, a stranger, a customer. Could you please send me that report? Third, use could in formal writing, emails or professional situations. Could you confirm your availability?
So if you're writing an email to someone you don't know very well, could is your best friend. Could you please let me know? Could you send me the information? It sounds professional and respectful.
Exactly. And here's a tip. Adding please with could makes it even more polite. Could you please open the window? Perfect for the office, for restaurants, for any situation where you want to make a good impression.
Okay, quick practice time. I'm going to give you a situation and you decide can or could. You're at a restaurant. You want to ask the waiter for some water. Which do you say? Think about it. I'd say, could I have some water, please? Because it's polite and the waiter doesn't know me. What do you think? Write it in the comments.
Great exercise. So to review this section, could as past ability tells us what was true before, and could for polite requests makes your English sound respectful and professional. Two very different uses, but both so important.
All right, we're not done with could yet. There's a third way we use it, and this one is really practical for everyday conversations. We use could to make suggestions. When you want to give someone an idea without being too pushy, could is perfect.
Right. So instead of saying you should do this, which can sound a bit strong, you say you could do this. It's softer. It feels like you're offering an option, not giving an order. For example, you could try calling them. We could go to the Italian place for dinner. You could ask your manager about it.
I love this because it's so friendly. It's like saying, here's an idea, take it or leave it. And in English, that kind of softness is really valued in conversation. It doesn't feel bossy.
Absolutely. And this is really useful when someone asks for your advice. If a friend says, I don't know what to get my mom for her birthday, you can say, oh, you could get her some flowers. Or you could take her out for lunch. See how natural that sounds?
Yes! Now, let me give you some real-life situations. Imagine your friend is stressed about work. You could say, you could take a short break. You could talk to your boss about it. You could try making a to-do list. All of these are gentle, helpful suggestions. Could makes you sound caring, not controlling.
And here's something interesting. Could also shows possibility in a slightly different way than can. With could, you're often talking about something less certain, or something in a hypothetical situation. Like, it could rain later, so bring an umbrella. That could be a problem. She could be at the library. I'm not sure.
Oh, yes. Could be is such a common phrase. When you're not 100% sure about something, you say could be. Where's your brother? He could be at work, or maybe the gym. I'm not sure. It's like saying maybe or possibly.
Exactly. Compare these two. He can be very funny. That means he has the ability to be funny. It's his personality. He could be at the party tonight. That means you're not sure. It's a possibility. Hear the difference? One is about ability, one is about uncertainty.
Okay, let's do a little mini practice together. I'm going to pretend I have a problem, and I want you, yes, you listening right now, to suggest something using could. Ready? My problem is I can't sleep at night. What could I do?
Oh, I'd say you could try drinking warm milk before bed. You could put your phone away an hour before sleeping. You could try some light exercise in the evening. See how easy it is?
Perfect. Now it's your turn. Write one suggestion for me using could in the comments. I'd love to see your ideas. And say it out loud, too. Speaking is just as important as writing.
So, to review section 3, could is great for making suggestions politely, and it also shows possibility or uncertainty. Subject plus could plus base verb. Simple, useful, natural.
Okay, it's time for my favorite part, common mistakes. And I'll be honest, I've made some of these mistakes myself when I was learning, so don't feel bad at all. Mistakes are how we learn.
Absolutely. Let's look at 4 mistakes that come up a lot with can and could. Mistake number 1, using can when could is better for polite requests. For example, some learners say, "Can you please to help me?" Now, there are 2 problems here. Can you spot them?
Good one. First, to should not be there. Remember, after modal verbs like can and could, you use the base verb with no to. So it's can you help me, not can you to help me. Second, in a formal or polite situation, could is better. So the correct polite version is, could you please help me?
Exactly. So never put to after can or could. Not I can to swim. Just I can swim. Not she could to come. Just she could come. This is one of the most common errors, and it's an easy one to fix once you know it.
Mistake number 2, using could when talking about a general ability right now. Sometimes learners say, I could speak English well now, but that sounds a bit off. Could for ability is for the past. If you're talking about right now, use can. I can speak English well now. That's the correct version. Right. Could for ability looks backward. Can for ability is right now. So when I was a student, I could memorize things very fast. Past ability, correct. Now I'm older, I can't memorize as fast. Present ability, correct. That second one hits a little too close to home for me.
Mistake number 3, forgetting the negative forms. A lot of learners get confused between can't, cannot, and couldn't. Here's the simple guide. Can't and cannot mean the same thing. Can't is just the casual spoken version. I can't come tonight. I cannot come tonight. Both correct. For the past, use couldn't.
I couldn't find my keys yesterday.
And please, don't say I could not can. I have heard this and it always makes me smile because I understand exactly why someone says it, but it doesn't work in English. Just couldn't for past, can't for present.
Mistake number 4, using could for all polite requests, but forgetting would. Now, this is a bonus tip. Both could and would work for polite requests, but they feel slightly different. Could you open the door? Perfectly polite. Would you open the door? Also polite, maybe slightly more formal. For now, just know both are good, and could is always a safe, polite choice.
Try this right now. Look at these 2 sentences and say the correct one out loud. Wrong? I can to help you. Correct? I can help you. Say the correct one. Speaking practice matters so much. Really, mistakes are normal and they're part of learning. Every single person who speaks English well made these exact same mistakes at some point. What matters is that you keep going and keep practicing. You're doing great. All right, let's do some interactive practice. This is the part where you really get to test yourself. I'm going to give you a situation, and you choose the better sentence. Ready? Let's go.
Situation 1. You're in a meeting and you want to ask your manager a question. Which sounds better? Option A, can I ask you something? Option B, could I ask you something? The answer is option B, could I ask you something? Because it's more formal and professional. Option A is okay with close colleagues, but for your manager, could shows more respect.
Situation 2. You're texting your best friend. You want to ask if she can come to your birthday party. Option A, could you come to my party? Option B, can you come to my party? Here, option B is more natural. With close friends, can is perfectly fine and sounds relaxed and friendly. Could isn't wrong, it just sounds a bit stiff with your best friend.
Great distinction, right?
The relationship matters. Situation 3. You want to describe something you did as a child.
Option A, when I was 6, I can read already. Option B, when I was 6, I could read already. Option B is correct. Could for past ability. Can is for right now. Could is for back then.
Now, say that out loud. When I was 6, I could read already. Or use your own example. When I was young, I could... Finish that sentence. Say it out loud and then write it in the comments. We genuinely love reading what you share. Situation 4. Your friend looks tired and stressed. You want to suggest something. Option A, you should sleep more. Option B, you could try sleeping earlier. Option B is the winner here. Not because option A is wrong, should works too, but could for suggestions is softer and kinder. It feels more supportive. And here's your challenge for this week. Create 3 sentences of your own. 1 using can for ability, 1 using could for a polite request, and 1 using could for a suggestion. Write all 3 in the comments. That's your homework.
Remember, your goal isn't to be perfect. Your goal is to communicate, to connect with people, to express yourself. Real conversation is about being understood, not about being flawless. Keep trying, keep speaking, keep going.
Wow, we covered so much today. I'm so proud of you for staying with us all the way through. Let's do a quick summary of everything we learned about can and could.
Okay, we covered 3 main uses of can. First, ability in the present. I can swim. Second, permission. Can I sit here? Third, general possibility. It can be very hot in summer. And then we covered could, also with 3 great uses.
Yes, could for past ability. When I was young, I could run so fast. Could for polite requests. Could you please help me? And could for suggestions and possibility. You could try calling them, or it could rain later.
Those 6 uses right there, that's the heart of today's lesson. If you remember those, your English is going to sound so much more natural, and you're going to feel so much more confident in real conversations.
You really are. And here's something I want you to think about. How many times a day do you think you could use can or could in English? I bet it's more than you think. These two words are everywhere.
That's a great reflection question. Think about your daily life and your conversations. Where could you practice using can and could more? At work, with family, when you're shopping or traveling? Let us know in the comments.
And please, if you found today's lesson helpful, share it with a friend who's learning English too. And of course, like this episode and subscribe to Simple English Talks so you get notified every time we post a new lesson. We work really hard to make these for you, and your support means everything to us.
That's right. We're here every week with new lessons to help you grow. You're not learning English alone. You've got us. And you've got this whole amazing community of learners around the world. Keep practicing, keep speaking, keep believing in yourself.
You're doing so well. Really, truly. We see your effort, and it matters. Every word you learn, every sentence you try, it all adds up. You've got this. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We'll be back very soon with another great lesson. Until then, keep practicing your can and could, and we'll see you next time.